Good day all. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your metals market update for this Thursday, and we're at the 26th of September 2019, just after 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And as you can see, a down day in the stock market, silver market down, gold was up, but actually at the end of the day, the last quotes were closer to 1511 than they are 1515, but that's how the settlement's determined by 12:30. The dollar higher against most currencies. So where are we? Well, if you spent the day like most of us did today in this business, you didn't see a lot of movement because people were watching TV, trying to find out what the House Intelligence Committee, as they were drilling, if you will, the head that reported to Congress and why he didn't report things, and when he did report, well, how did he do it, and the whistleblower protecting them, and then the president, he wouldn't say certain things because he works for the president, and there's a confidentiality with all that. To make a long story short, we went nowhere. And that's the key. We're going to be like this for a very long period of time, not the market. We're going to be in this impeachment inquiry for a very long period of time. And today was an important day to get it out of the market system in the sense, here's a day of a hearing, you get it done, and these markets, they'll move on something else tomorrow. So as I look at the market, and I'm looking at the gold chart, we're still, if you will, at the 1507 level. We're $19 away from the highest close we've recently had. If the market wanted to back off to support, it's all the way back at the 1450 level, 1443, which is quite a ways off. As you can see, this has become a chart that's going nowhere. You can just visually see it caught sideways. Should this market get under this 1480 zone, be careful. You could start, actually it's around 1492. This market could start getting very ugly very fast on you. As long as it doesn't do that, where are we? Well, what if I told you that tomorrow, if the market didn't take out today's low first and closed higher on the day, the swing line would turn up. You'd have higher lows and then higher highs. I can already see that formation. But the key is not to take out today's low. If you do, then it still can drop back to eventually challenge this area or see where it can grab hold. That number is important because we're fighting at the 18-day average of closes. We've been doing it 1, 2. You just missed it this day, but here's your 4th and today was your 5th. We're hitting it back and forth, and from this level, the market is trying to determine what to do. Can the trend just turn down here on this pattern? It could if you were to first go up and then come down and settle lower. Then you could say you would have lower high, lower low. It would take an outside day. I know how the format works on this. Until that occurs, no. I'm going to just say that the market's fighting its battle, looking for the direction right here. The support's 1484.5 off the Bollinger Band bottom. The resistance is 1553, which matches in here. Neutrality is where you're at in the market, and momentum is flat as can be. So it's a rough chart. You've got the bias down because you're under the 18-day average. You're not trending. You have a lower low, higher high pattern. When we come over to GLD, similar in a way. Notice the 18-day average is where you're stuck at. This market's had outside days down that you took out the high right away. Then you had an outside day up, you took the low out. I don't know what to do with a chart like that. If you look at that formation, you don't see anything like that going back. You have to go, I don't even know where. So when I see that, you know what I do as a chartist? I don't bother with it. I wait till it straightens itself out. GDX, the market's got the pattern of higher lows, higher highs. It too has that pattern. You had, let's see if I can get it, work that out. There we go. You had this outside day up. You then yesterday came down, took that out, and now you're sort of stuck right here, just sort of drifting on this 18-day average. I'm going to again say the bias is down, the momentum's gone flat, the swing line's up, gold is a mess. That's the simplest way I can describe the chart. Now the gold-silver ratio, is this where it turns back in favor of gold or not? We're in a resistance zone of prior closes. This is a close-only chart. The key to make silver look good is get this ratio down under 83. When you come to the silver chart, you see how the market has fallen back as of yesterday under the 18-day average of closes. It had no bounce to it today to get back up there. If the market takes out this 1750 level, you might be headed down into the 1730 zone. For the market to get bullish, like the gold futures, don't take out today's low. Go up, close over that 18-day average, and the swing line will say that's a higher one there. You've already got the higher highs. You'd have momentum up. Take this number 1750 out, and you got to restructure the whole chart again. In the copper market, the trend is down. It is oversold already. So you have a market that failed at the 18-day average of closes. So often we talk about that line in the sand, and that's it. But until today's high is taken out, the bears grabbed control of this market, and they're keeping it because you're trending to the downside. And they've had this. They've actually had it from back here, and now you've at least had a couple of days under this 18-day average. If you had a washout to the downside, I'd look for the 255 level. If you get over today's high, you're back into neutrality. Going home, bears have control, but you are oversold. Platinum market wouldn't surprise me if you go to this lower Bollinger Band to see what it's made out of. The market is not trending. You've got a higher high, lower low pattern, and we talked about this. This is where this market started bringing in. See how wide these Bollinger Bands are? Then they began the narrowing in process, and as they do, what happens is volatility starts actually slipping away on you. Now support back here, but is there a trend? There isn't. That's the hard part. You got the higher high, lower low, and you're oversold. In the palladium market, this market was up $31 today. It's got the embedded reading. It's the only one that does. It's the powerhouse, but it too's got big resistance right up here. We'll see if it can get to it. This is where the strength is because of that reading that we call the embedded slow stochastic. Now you've got to pay attention to the dollar. The dollar yesterday got up to the upper Bollinger Band, closed over it. Now, you've done that before, like here. If it's going to fail, it's now. If this market starts reaching, I would say the traders are going to start saying this market's got a base and it's ready to move higher. You're overbought, you're in an uptrend, but this pattern has failed in the past. Let's see if it fails again or if the market uses that sideways action as a base. In the mornings, I love to get you started fresh and early because I'm going to question your trade selections and mine. I get up at approximately 4:35 in the morning and I spend at least an hour reading. I'll read everything that I can find my hands on in Asia, what's going on in Europe, and of course the US. I do have a cup of coffee as I'm doing all that. I'm sitting there, and what I'm going to start with then is recording a video. Now this video you're not going to find on websites anywhere but ours. You're not going to be able to go on YouTube and say, oh, I've got that. I'm going to give you technical and fundamental analysis really in depth. Then I'm able to say, because this is a subscriber video, I want you to buy here, go with the market, put in a price, here's where you're wrong this, here's where you're right, here's what I'm looking for the failure. The idea is to get you set up, because the U.S., all the reports in the U.S. start coming out at 7:30 a.m. in the morning Central Time till sometimes 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to cover all of these different markets in this exact sequence, and there'll be a slide bar on the bottom so you can slide to the area you want, and it'll say it big and bold what it is. There's also a lexicon on the side so you can just click that word. The video is typically 20 minutes long. I don't expect you to spend 20 minutes. If you want metals, you're going right to the metal section. If you want to say, okay, what's the stock market doing tonight? What's he saying? You got that from me. So you can jump section to section, or you can let it all play. But you're getting this typically Monday through Friday. I even do it when I'm on vacation, but I do it a little later in the day because I can record from anywhere. The first 30 days are $7.95. There's no hook. If you want to quit at that point, you quit. If you want to continue, you have two choices. You can go $15 every 30 days, or you can switch over to a 1-year prepaid subscription. $156. Now think about it. It's not much money. Gold, the minimum tick is $10. Silver, same thing. So you're sitting there and you're moving back and forth on these markets. Come on. There's no money involved. And what if I can give you either an idea or hold you back from one? You know, this morning when I was doing the video, I was saying to myself, what do I do more of? I try to find reasons to not make a trade more than anything else. You know why? Anybody can trade. The key is, can you find a trade that here's the reasons, this is what makes sense, and here's what you're seeing. What do you have to lose by giving it a try? All you need to do is go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. At the very top, click on Research. It'll say Morning Subscriber Video. Click it on. It explains how this all works. You sign up right then and there if you decide to do that. You can click here. You'll see this icon if you're watching me on YouTube. It'll take you to that page as well. I'm Ira Epstein. Hope it's more interesting tomorrow than it was today. You take care.